So, here I am in my new surroundings, finally at university after a long time coming. And Charlton still find ways to make my week a living nightmare. It finished yesterday at Priestfield. Gillingham 1, Charlton Athletic 1. Charlton dominated the first half. Looked like that we were going to walk away with the victory, and then in the second half it just went straight back to what we've seen all season, really. And yeah, we now find ourselves in a very difficult situation. We're still in the bottom four, and we have a manager that is just tactically clueless, doesn't know what he's doing. Yet I feel that we have this guy in for a little while, as I don't think our owner has the guts to pull the plug on him. I guess you can understand why Adkins made this many changes after that absolute embarrassment over the weekend away at Wycombe. 7 changes were made overall to the starting 11, and it was another formation change. And funnily enough, this lineup was actually leaked on Charlton Live the day before. A lot of people were sat there thinking, oh, this is just a freak guess, but it ended up being 100% spot on, which kind of tells you where we are as a football club right now. Just an absolute mess. The fact that there is a rat within the club that is leaking at the Charlton lineups, it's just not a good thing you want to hear. So anyway, in terms of the 11, obviously it was MacGillivray in goal. Adam Matthews came in at right back replacing Chris Gunter, thank God, and Gunter was actually taken out of the squad completely, which I felt was the right decision, as that guy cannot be anywhere near the starting 11 anytime soon. Sam Lavelle and Jason Pearce retained their spots, although we went with a back 4 instead of a back 5, so Famewo was dropped ultimately. And Ben Purrington came back into the side at left back, replacing Pape Soiree. It was really nice to see Purrington back in the team, of course returning from injury. We went with a midfield 3, a entirely new midfield 3 of Ben Watson, Albie Morgan and Elliot Lee. Harry Arter and George Dobson both come out of the side. And the front 3, Corey Blackett-Taylor was given a, in my opinion, deserved start after his display against Wycombe. I thought he played really, really well in the time that he was on the field. The only player that actually tried to get things going that entire game. Conor Washington was on the left wing once again, playing out of position, which I wasn't exactly happy with. And then up top, obviously Adkins did say that he was going to drop Jayden Stockley. He did end up doing that, and Josh Davison came in his place. So overall, I'm going to be honest, I was not impressed with the lineup whatsoever, because I was just hoping that Adkins was going to start playing, 4-4-2. And I just looked at the names on the team sheet, Watson and Pearce in the squad. Famewo dropped. George Dobson, for me, had a decent game against Wycombe. Best of a bad bunch, I guess you could say. Or one of the best in a bad bunch, I should say. And he was taken out of the squad completely, which I felt was a bit harsh, to be totally honest with you. Jai me again, second week running, not in the squad, which again I felt was quite strange. I don't know why he's nowhere near the team, even though Adkins said a couple of weeks ago that he was unplayable. And I think, to be honest with you, I think he's been one of our better performers this season. Not in the squad 2 games running. But in the first half, I would eat my words, as I have to say, I think that is probably the best first half I've seen, or the best half of football that I've seen from us this season. I felt we played really, really well within that first half. We come out, we looked hungry, we looked lively, looked like that we wanted to turn our form around and get the 3 points. And as I say, we looked very good. Washington was looking lively. It looked like he was going to score goals that night. He looked really, really good. Blackett-Taylor was energetic. Davison ran his socks off. And yeah, as I say, in that first half, we were, in my opinion, miles the better side. I don't think Gillingham threatened us at all in that first half. I think they did a couple of times with a couple crosses, which were dealt with rather comfortably in the end from Pearce, Lavelle and Watson, who I think did their defensive duties really well. It was a very, very good first half display from the Addicts, and something that we needed, to be honest with you, something that we needed. We needed to show that we wanted to get the 3 points, and we definitely showed it in that 45 minutes, and that was rewarded with a goal on the 18-minute mark. Corey Blackett-Taylor, who, as I say, was causing Gillingham all sorts of problems in that first half, darted forward on the left-hand side. He's absolutely rapid, Blackett-Taylor. He's so, so quick. Got down on the left-hand side, put a ball in towards the back post, and there was Elliot Lee, and he got the one up on his brother Ollie, who of course was starting for Gillingham last night. He got a shot away. I think it did take a deflection off the defender that was sliding in to prevent the ball from sailing into the net, but I think it did take a deflection off of him, because it sort of just went through Jamie Cummings' hand sort of thing. If it didn't take a deflection, then Cummings got to do a lot better than that, to be honest with you. But yeah, from what I saw, I think it did take a bit of a deflection. But yeah, regardless, Elliot Lee finds the back of the net, his first goal for Charlton. Overall, a pretty good first half display, we have to say. It was half time, Gillingham 0, Charlton 1, went into the break very positive. You know, as I say, a lot better than what we've seen all season, really. I think, and I genuinely do believe that is the best we've played all season within that first half. You know, we did have a couple opportunities as well to make it 2-0 that we probably should have taken. The best one probably was Conor Washington's one-on-one opportunity when I think it was Lee that put him through. He done really, really well he did like a fake shot past the defender and played in Washington, who was in acres of space on the left-hand side, and he sort of gone to cut in to sort of bend it into the far corner. But Jack Tucker made some really good ground to get back and put in a brilliant block, we have to say. It was a fantastic block from Tucker. But yeah, overall, a very, very commanding first half display, and Gillingham barely had anything, to be honest with you. Had nothing in that first half. They didn't look very organised. They looked quite poor, to be honest with you. I was hoping that we was going to take that first half into the second half. We weren't going to let up, and we was going to come out the blocks guns blazing. And then second half, Conor Washington come off right at the start. Jonathan Leko took his spot. I was quite dumbfounded by that substitution, because I felt that Washington was probably one of our more better players within that first half. I felt he played really, really well. And I was very surprised that Adkins decided to take him off. But as Adkins revealed, he did say that Washington's got a problem with his heel, said it was swelling up a little bit, and he left the ground on crutches. So I'll let him off with that one. But what I won't let him off for was how shambolic that second half display was, because we just went right back to what we've seen all season, really. Went back to normality, we have to say. Just no runners, no one even bothering to run for each other in the middle of the pitch, and we just went from us just playing it round the back constantly, because no one is bothering making a run, and then because we'd keep passing it around the back trying to find an option, and no one's giving them an option, even though we've got 3 in the middle this time, unlike 2 in the midfield against Wycombe, no one was still running, and ultimately it just led to us trying to play a long ball forward, and it just wouldn't work, as per usual. I'm just sick and tired of seeing it at this point. I'm just absolutely sick and tired of seeing it, because it's just getting embarrassing now, honestly. Every single week, we're seeing it. You know, that first half was brilliant. You know, we played really, really well. It was a massive improvement, and an improvement that we badly needed. So why do we go back to not running for each other and not moving? In that first half, we were playing the ball along the floor, and it showed that we can play football. And in the second half, we just went back to what we normally do. And what is probably the more concerning thing in regards to Adkins is that system didn't change. It did not change one bit. And we just let's face it, a very underwhelming Gillingham side that are missing 5 players and can't even fill their bench at the moment with the amount of players they've got missing. A very depleted squad that is underperforming this season, and we let them back into the game in the second half. They were shocking in that first half. Apologies, Gillingham fans watching this. And in the second half, we soak up the pressure for the first couple of minutes. You know, they were coming forward, trying to get chances going, and eventually, on the 56th minute mark, Gillingham drew level, and it was a goal that I saw coming. It was absolutely a goal that I saw coming. Corner on the left-hand side, played short, got it back on the edge of the left side of the box. He takes a shot, curling effort. It's a fabulous strike, we have to say. It's a brilliant strike. Cannons off the post, and unfortunately, it ricochets back into Purrington's path, and it goes in the back of the net for an own goal. Nothing really Purrington could have done about that. We just soak up the pressure for a couple of minutes, and then we just capitulate, and they get one back. I'm just stood there in the scaffolding end, looking at Adkins thinking, what are you going to do now? What are you going to do now to fix this? And I'll tell you what he did. Jack shit. Absolutely nothing. He just kept us playing the same way that we have been playing the entire season long. He did not go back to the intensity that we showed in that first half. He just thought, nah, this is all right. I'm all right watching us going from MacGillivray to Matthews to Pearce to Watson to Pearce to Lavelle to Purrington to Matthews to MacGillivray. You know, just that repetitive cycle for the next 45 minutes. Alex Gilbey, that was probably one of the more positive things of that second half. Gilbey coming back, you know, a player that was very, very good in the latter stages of last season under Adkins. He was a player that flourished under Adkins, and I do feel that he will be an important player for us in the middle of the pitch, and I'm hoping that he does get a start against Portsmouth. As I did say, there was a spell within that second half where we probably should have grabbed the goal back. I think it was Blackett-Taylor who was running through on the right hand side. He put a ball into the box, it dribbled across towards the back post. Davison completely unmarked. He sort of scuffed the shot, but it was going in. He probably should have. He should really have put his laces through it, but he sort of scuffed it. It looked like it was going in, and Cumming has got across incredibly well to pull off a ridiculous save. That is a guaranteed goal, really, but Cumming has done really, really well to get across and make the save. And then from the subsequent corner, Lavelle catches it at the back post quite weak, and Cumming again gets across well to pull off a really good save. So from those two chances, we should really have put each of them away. As I say, Davison should have put his laces through that shot and made sure of it and make sure it flew in the back of the net. And then Lavelle just about caught it well enough, but Cumming unfortunately got across to make the save, and they cleared their lines. And to be honest with you, I think that's the only decent chance that we had of that entire second half, because as I say, it was just the same old fucking shit that we've seen all season long, really. Leko came on and was completely ineffective, apart from one really good dribble where he dribbled past three players, just couldn't quite get a shot away. Didn't think he offered anything when he came on. Jayden Stockley, I felt, came on too late in the second half. Davison was absolutely knackered by the end of the game. He did run his socks off, to be fair, Davison. He worked hard. You know, he plays for the badge, Davison, we have to say, but he came off way too late. He was absolutely knackered, blowing out of his arse by the end. Stockley came on too late. You could even say that we were lucky to not lose the game. Gillingham had their chances as well. They had a very good penalty shout, which, if you watch the highlights, the penalty shout is actually in the highlights. It was an apparent handball on Ben Watson, and you can very clearly see that Watson does have his arms like blazing up in the air. So yeah, it's a very good penalty shout. Probably the best chance of the second half was through Carl Dempsey, where he absolutely cannoned a shot from inside the box. It beat MacGillivray and it smacked off the post. It really should have scored that. And yeah, in that sense, Gillingham would say that they deserve to win through the penalty shout and Dempsey's miss. We'll say that we deserve to win the game through our first half performance and our chances through Davison and Lavelle. But I guess you can ultimately say that it was a game of two halves. Charlton dominated the first half. Gillingham got back into it in the second half, and to be honest with you, they were the better team in the second half. And I guess you could say that the result was fair as it ended at Priestfield. Gillingham won, Charlton Athletic won. I said it in my latest video, and I've said it on various social media platforms. If we can't beat a depleted Gillingham side that can't even fill their bench, then Adkins does not leave Priestfield with his job. And ultimately, that draw is not enough. That 45-minute display in that first half where we looked really, really good is not enough, because ultimately we're still in the bottom four. We haven't won away from home, and our record 8 games into the League One season is 1 win, 2 draws and 5 losses. We've scored 5 points out of 24 this season, which is absolutely ridiculous. I mean, it was an improved performance, we have to say that. In the first half, as I said, I felt it was the best that we played all season. It was an improvement and it was progression, but ultimately it wasn't enough, because in the second half we went right back to what we've seen all season and there was no plan B. Adkins showed no sign of changing that, and yet the questions that Scott Minto has put into Adkins was just absolutely mind-boggling to me. He just sat there like, oh, yeah, it was a good performance, wasn't it? Yeah, it was good that we didn't buckle in that second half when we didn't concede a win. You'll be excited to keep performances like that going, as if we've won the game. I think that they've seemed to have forgotten that we've drawn to, let's face it, a shit Gillingham side, a very poor Gillingham side. We've drawn to them and we're in the bottom 4. Like, have you seemed to have forgotten that? And then Adkins is sat there like praising the performance and all things like that, and I'm just like, look, I can see that it was an improvement from the first half, but ultimately it wasn't enough. Drawing to Gillingham against a team like Gillingham that we probably should be beating based off how bad they were in that first half, we really should have put the game to bed. And we're celebrating over a point. Thomas Sandgaard, that tweet, oh my God. He got absolutely rinsed for that tweet. He sat there going, a point on the board, on to the next game. Like, Jesus Christ, if that's how, like, if that's your attitude, celebrating a point against a poor Gillingham side, it just shows how low we've sunk. You know, it just shows how low we are as a football club. And you could see that from the away end, which I must say was very, very underwhelming. It just shows where our fans stand at the moment, because we're just sick of it. We're just absolutely sick of watching this dross football every single week. And it hasn't changed, you know, it has not changed. Apart from that first half display, I've seen no signs of improvement, and don't see any signs of improvement under Nigel Adkins. I just see a manager that just doesn't know what he's doing, and to be honest with you, just tactically doesn't have it anymore. He's spent far too long out of the game, And like I said it from the Wickham match reaction, the game has moved on from people like him. It has moved on from Nigel Adkins. And I just do not see any signs of us improving whatsoever. Because I don't understand how we can go from dominating Gillingham in the first half to then changing it and going back to just essentially smashing it long. He said he didn't want us to play hoofball. He takes Stockley out of the squad, which he claims is the reason why we're playing long ball, and we're still fucking doing it in the second half. Why? You know, and it's not good enough. It's just not good enough whatsoever. I just don't see Sandgaard sacking him anytime soon. I don't see Adkins resigning. I don't see Sandgaard sacking him. I think we just got to put up with it and just hope that he can turn this around. And if I'm being honest with you, I just have no faith in him whatsoever. So, yeah, if you're asking me whether I'm Adkins out or not, at this point I am Adkins out. I've just got no faith in the bloke whatsoever. I just think he's tactically clueless, doesn't know what he's doing, doesn't know our best starting 11 yet. Showed glimpses of improvement in that first half. You know, it showed that we can play football if we play it along the floor. Yet we just went back to smashing it long in the second half, and ultimately Gillingham got away with a deserved point. So that is it for another match reaction. I hope you guys did enjoy it. If you did, can you possibly leave a like, subscribe if you're new around here, and turn on those post notifications so you're notified of every time I post a new video. What do you guys think of the game? Let me know in the comments below. What's your standpoint on Adkins? Let me know, because at this point I'm just tired of the bloke. I'm tired of this club. I'm tired of watching this dross football every single week, and I just see no signs of it improving unless Adkins leaves. Honestly, I just do not see it any other way, but we'll see what happens, I guess. We'll see what happens. We move on to Portsmouth on Saturday. This has been Tyler Rowlington. Have a nice day, and I will see you all then. Take it easy, stay safe, and I'll see you all then.